It is another Man Scout Monday. This is the Man Scout, Jake Manning, here in the Manning Cave. Hopefully, all of you guys had a wonderful and great Monday. Hopefully, you guys are hearing me okay. I switched the microphone. This week. I did a lot of I do a lot of tapping, and I feel hopefully this microphone is coming through quite clearly and okay for all of you guys, and it sounds great. So that's what I'm hoping happening. Big hello to obviously Russell Ranger, John DiPietro, Big Babaloo, Hosanna or Joshua, I don't know, Miles Kane, Brian, all of you guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. But guys, everybody that's in here right now, let everybody know that we're having all the fun over here on Man Scout Monday. Hit that share button, guys. Hit the like button, the reaction button. Hit as much as you want. If you're OCD and you like hitting all the stuff, go ahead and hit all the stuff. Hit the share button as much as possible. Let everybody know that we're having fun tonight of a jam-packed show. I probably should save some of this stuff for later on, but no, I kind of stood back earlier today and I was like, man, I think this is going to be a really good show. I was a little worried we fall in the sophomore slump of things, but no, this is going to be a solid show, top to bottom. And I almost thought about holding a little bit of it back, but I'm like, nope, I'm going to just put myself out there and put myself in a real bind to do Man Scout Monday number 3 or next week. But I got some good stuff planned for that, but I have some amazing stuff planned tonight. So go ahead, hit that share button, guys, and make sure you use the hashtag MSM on Twitter or Instagram or wherever. At Man Scout Manning is where I'm located on Twitter and Instagram. And if you type in Man Scout Manning on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, I highly recommend that you guys do so because I hear it looks fantastic. But if you're on the Facebook live app, that's just as good as well. That's where most of you guys saw me and gotten to know me and how I've gotten to know you. So, and that's basically what this program is about, is me just to come on here and hang out with you guys, catch up with you guys. It's been so long since I've seen a lot of you, heard, or I've never really seen some of you. I've never seen. Like, I don't think I've ever met Miles Kane before because he lives in the Northeast. I would have much rather hang out with you than a couple of people I've hung out with in the Northeast. But regardless, we're going to get there. The world's opening up. I just got 2 dates shot right at me a little bit ago. And a matter of fact, the last Man Scout Monday, I picked up a couple bookings. So everything that the show was designed to do, it's doing, and it's doing it because of you guys. And I can't thank you guys enough for being here for Man Scout Monday. But, let everybody know what's going on. Hit that share button and tell everybody to come on over here. We're having some fun. So, but we've got a lot of fun. Like I said, it is a jam-packed show, and I had a lot of fun this weekend with Northeast Wrestling. I always have a good time. It's some of the amazing fans that are at Northeast Wrestling. You guys have seen the bulk of my career pretty much. I've been going there since about, oh gosh, I think it's like 2009. So it's been well over 10 years. So for those of you guys who attend the Northeast Wrestling shows from time to time, you've seen me for a long period of time and you've seen the ups and downs and everything. And before this pandemic, I was actually scheduled to wrestle Dan Moff in a Northeast Wrestling title match. And, for those of you guys who know who Dan Moff is, he is a serious competitor. And I dress up like a Boy Scout. So there is this sense of, he's a sizable man. And I'll tell you, there was a very small part of me that was kind of happy that when a global pandemic happened and I wasn't going to have to wrestle Dan Moff or be subjugated to a beating by Dan Moff. But here I am now. I have now found myself back in the number 1 contendership hunt for the Northeast Wrestling title. And, I was kind of scared. And, pandemic was really tough on me. I tried to stay in shape as much as I could, but, there's a lot of doubts and I've been very nervous about wrestling, mostly because I think about it more. I think that's the thing is once you start realizing the danger of all this, it gets very terrifying. And I am very aware of my mortality. And, I've been kind of nervous about wrestling. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be vulnerable with you guys, but I've been very nervous about wrestling. But luckily, I've been training a lot with Lucky Ali to get me back into ring shape as much as possible. It's been a little tough with the new job, so very nervous about getting back in the ring. So when I heard that I'd be wrestling Dan Moff again, and I was going to be doing it at the Mid Hudson Civic Center, and that's that match is coming up, and they just announced it just a little bit ago. I'm trying to bring up the graph here. I'm trying to bring up the graphic while I'm talking about everything, and it's not seeming to work. There was the graphic right there, but that the Northeast Wrestling title match, it's happening. NortheastWrestling.com for all the ticket information on that one. I thought that was going to work a little better. So this is what happens. This is what happens when you're your own producer. You make mistakes. But like I said, I was a bit nervous, but I had a friend kind of give me a little bit of a pep talk. And the people that were in attendance for Waterbury, Connecticut, you got to see this little pep talk from my new best friend, Adam Page. And I figured what better way to kick off Man's Gut Monday is than to show you this wonderful pep talk I got from my good friend who told me, like, hey, I know you're wrestling Dan Moff, but I think you can do it. So I'm going to share it with you guys right here, right now, here on Man Scout Monday.
Jake, it's your new best friend, Adam Page. And I just wanted to say congratulations on your upcoming title shot and send you well wishes. For those of you who don't know, I have known Jake Manning nearly my entire career, and I owe a lot of it to him. Jake is one of the most incredible, most genuine, most passionate, most hardworking people I've ever met, not just in wrestling, but in my entire life. I know those trips to NEW that we made, he would spend 12 hours behind the wheel. I don't know if it was out of anger, frustration, passion in general, but he wouldn't let anybody else drive. I've watched Jake put up and take down rings for other people to wrestle in who had much less business in there than he did. And I know that just because you deserve to win a championship doesn't mean you do it, right? You have to win. So Jake, I want to say to you, I hope you win. Good luck, and hopefully the next time I see you, we can share a drink and talk about our heavyweight championships together.
Oh, new best friend. I can't thank you enough. I obviously I couldn't thank you mid promo, and it was a very impassioned promo. So I would highly recommend that you go seek out Northeast Wrestling Heatwave whenever it becomes available on their streaming network, Northeast Wrestling Pivot Share. I guess you could take a look at it at Spots Wrestling Network, but that's up to you if you have that. But regardless, it was probably, as far as like promos, interviews, whatever you want to call them, it was probably the most impassioned and from the heart thing that I'd ever done on a live microphone in front of an audience of wrestling fans. So, and it's because of that wonderful heartfelt video. And to answer your question, it was all anger. That was the thing that made me want to drive all the way to Connecticut and back and not let anybody drive. It was anger. I run on anger and Duncan. Those are the two things that I run on, and that's why I don't let anybody else drive, because that is a concoction that needs to be worked off 12 hours driving to Connecticut or Poughkeepsie or wherever Northeast Wrestling is running. But they are running the Mid Hudson Civic Center August 14th. I will be wrestling Dan Moff. Get your tickets at northeastwrestling.com. I know you're probably like, geez, Jake, is this the Northeast Wrestling Show or is this Man Scout Monday? Well, guess what? They're the only ones booking me right now. If you promoters out there start booking me, well, then maybe I'll start plugging your shows. But right now, I've just got to plug Northeast Wrestling. They're the ones filling on my calendar right now. So you promoters out there, if you want me to plug the crap out of your show for the first third of a Man Scout Monday, well, then guess what? Then go ahead and book me. But now that we've gotten through the promotional materials, I got to talk about the fans of Northeast Wrestling, because they are the sweetest fans. I'm thankful that I sell merch, not just because I like movie merch and I like selling T-shirts and the money I get from that, but I like selling merch at Northeast Wrestling because I need to make room in my suitcase every single time, because I have amazing fans that give me gifts. Like, I see you Bobby T from This Toy Life. You got me a couple Cyclops comics that will end up going on this wall over here. You saw a bare space just over here, and you're like, hey, we need to fill it up with some Cyclops comics. I know people are like, oh, Jake, you're a fan of X-Men. No, I'm a Cyclops fan. All these covers on the behind me, they are with Cyclops on the cover, and Bobby T heeded that call, got me a couple Cyclops fans comics, and they're going to go up on the wall. They'll be on the wall for the next Man Scout Monday. And also my good buddy Dave, he asked if I already had these, and I didn't know they existed. They are Cyclops sunglasses right here. Check out, they got the little side right there, little side. They could go like this. Shoot the laser beam. Like me being the Cyclops fan. I got Cyclops glasses now, guys. I'm super stoked about it. Super stoked about it. I always come back with more Cyclops stuff, and I got a give another big shout out to Bobby T, because he got me this Cyclops very limited figure right here. I always told him I was going to do an unboxing video. Maybe I'll do an unboxing video on a Man Scout Monday in the future, but right before the pandemic, he got me this. And Bobby T, This Toy Life, if you guys are in the Connecticut area and you're looking for a quality toy store, and that's the thing about Bobby T, like I just told him I'm a Cyclops fan, and I was probably wearing a Cyclops shirt at the merch table or something like that, and he's been finding Cyclops toys that I didn't even know existed. So if you've got a hankering, if there's some figures that you're looking for or toys you're looking for, Bobby T's your guy. This Toy Life, look him up on Instagram. Great guy, cool dude, gives me Cyclops comics, gives me Cyclops action figures, and I see you too, Dave. These are pretty awesome too. Maybe I'll wear these when I'm driving down to Greenville to go see my girlfriend. Walk like this, and I'm sure she loves it that I'm wearing the shirt that she gave me for my birthday. So right there, of course, she's a big Jean Grey fan, so I am her Scott Summers to her Jean Grey. And you guys are my my X-Men to my Professor Xavier. However you want to see that, except I'm a creepier version of Professor Xavier, which, if I rolled around in a wheelchair and be like, hey, do you want to come to my school? That would be creepy. But somehow Patrick Stewart pulls it off just fine in the movies. And James McAvoy, he does a pretty good job as well. But anyways, so we got a lot of people in the comments. A lot of people have hit the share, but the views have been going up a little bit. So we got a lot of people scrolling through in here. John Sokolsky, it's good to see you as well. So we got plenty of good people in here that, like I said, hit that share button, guys. We're doing a fantastic job of all you guys coming in here and supporting Man Scout Monday. And I thank you guys. Can't thank you guys enough for all the Cyclops stuff. But a man who I can't thank enough over the years is a man who's going to be leading up this section. And, when I'm at the merch table, it's great when I get gifts. And, I get asked a lot of questions a lot of times, and I still feel weird. Even though I've been wrestling for like 18 years, I still feel very weird about answering questions when they're like, oh, this and that. You're a pro wrestler. Well, my tax form doesn't say pro wrestler. But I've been wrestling for 18 years, but my good friend George South has been wrestling for probably double that. And if you're going to ask any pro wrestler a question, I feel you should ask George South the question, because he's going to give you the best perspective. He has been around wrestling for years. Is a very well-respected wrestler, trainer. You name anybody in the Carolinas that's worth a grain of salt, they were trained by George South. So I felt he would probably be the best person to answer all of your questions, your queries about professional wrestling. So I'm debuting a segment here on Man Scout Monday entitled Ask a Wrestler with George South.
How do I break into the business?
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't. Listen, stupid, the biggest answer to that question is don't break into it. We've got enough people in pro wrestling as it is. So, Goof, to answer that question, don't break into wrestling. If anything, go get a real job because we don't need more idiots in professional wrestling. I'll tell you what, go join the Olympics. That would be good. They're accepting anybody, okay? Stupid, listen. Do not get in professional wrestling. How come everybody just thinks that they can just wake up one morning and get into pro wrestling? How about setting a ring up first, stupid? There is no way to get in wrestling. We ain't taking nobody else. We're done. Closed. I really hate that guy.
I was wondering if professional wrestling hurts.
Oh my God. It don't, stupid. That's why I hadn't took a dump in 40 years. Pro wrestling is fake. Go ask your fat uncle sitting at the table at Thanksgiving. Pro wrestling is not real. It's fake. Okay? So, stupid, next question.
Ooh, very good.
Please, boy. Oh my God. I hate these people.
What is your worst injury?
1976, Lisa Freestone, North Gaston High School. She broke my heart. Oh, you mean, I was thinking about the Jaws movie. Remember when they're sitting in the boat and they're going over broken hearts? No, worst injury ever, Scott Steiner knocked me out. Not once, but twice. Not only did he knock me out on TV, he cussed me out because I couldn't get back up for the other Steiner line. So, that was probably the worst. Took me a week to get over it. They actually, this is a true story to end it, got hurt on TV, I'm laying, let me tell you stupid redneck something. Nowadays you get hurt, medical, dental, everything else. When I got hurt, they pushed me in a corner, Atlantis TV. They pushed me in a corner, and guess what? The next match stepped over me, stupid, okay, to get to the ring. Listen to this. Nobody has ever heard this, Bullet. I think you have. Ric Flair walked by, bend over, and put some money in my hand. I love Ric Flair, okay? So he did. Only one. Everybody else left. I'm still laying in a corner, center stage. Atlanta, Georgia.
Who decides who wins or loses?
Your mama. Listen to me, stupid. What do you mean? Just be a fan. It doesn't matter what goes on behind the curtain. It doesn't matter who decides what. Sit there, you and your fat girlfriend, and eat popcorn and just wait and see. Bullet, I can't do this. Bullet, seriously, let me go back. That is the stupidest question in the world. You're not supposed to know how Wizard of Oz ends, okay? That's the whole thing. You're not supposed to know, dummy. Am I wrong? You're not supposed to know.
No, you're not.
Let's all watch Jeopardy because I already know the answers, okay?
And that is Ask a Wrestler with George Stout. Guys, let me know if you like that segment or not and you want to see it back. If you like George just yelling at people, I got to say, I think that's about as raw as George gets, to be really quite honest. It takes a lot to get George to be George in front of a camera. It's taken many years, but we finally have got him there. But I just want to check in on the chat right here. A lot of comments, a lot of people tuning in, a lot of people really dogging on my choice of Cyclops. Look, I like Cyclops because they called him a Boy Scout. When Wolverine would call him a Boy Scout, I didn't realize that was an insult, and that's why I like Cyclops. Also, too, like, who doesn't want to be with Jean Grey? I see Chris Hero over there on IG. He's like saying that New Mutants was his favorite comic. So, guys, Chris Hero is going to be at the Gathering this weekend. Go get some New Mutants comics. Hand him over, but don't give him the movie poster. Apparently, he didn't like the movie. I thought the New Mutants movie was okay. It was perfectly fine for what it was. It was a good little kind of one-off. It wasn't anything extravagant. It was just perfectly fine, much like Wonder Woman 84. Perfectly fine. So, but a lot of people scrolling through there really enjoyed the George segment. The Casey King loved it. David loved being cursed out in the middle of that segment. So, but guys, just let me know that how everything looks good. See, Russell Ranger says the New Mutants. Why am I saying New Mutants? For whatever reason, is just not rolling off my tongue today. For whatever reason, as I scrape it, it's just not coming off my tongue as well as it should. But regardless of all that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And as I promised, one of the things I wanted to share with you guys is my stand-up. And kind of the reason why this show exists, and I told this last week, is that I was a part of Get High and Watch Wrestling. I didn't get high. I just watched wrestling. That was my part of it. And Ron Funches, who apparently knows who I am and likes my wrestling. We got in a conversation during the show, and I said I was a stand-up, and he didn't know I was a stand-up. And he's like, why don't I know this? And why are you posting clips? Well, I've been very reserved about posting clips of my stand-up because I'm not as good at stand-up as I am at wrestling, but that's how it goes. It's something new. It's an art form that I am learning, getting better at, perfecting. Matter of fact, I was just at an open mic a little bit ago, like maybe an hour or two ago. I worked a full day, went to an open mic, and now I'm here doing this show for you. And then Wednesday, I have work a full day. I have something I have to do. And then I'm going to go up at an open mic at the end of the night. And then I'm going to probably drive to Greenville. And I could just drive to Greenville early, but I think I'm going to I have to do an open mic because I have to get better at stand-up. I work very hard at stand-up, and I'm still, very rough on myself, very hard on myself, especially when it comes to the jokes. But, I've got to get it out in the world, let you guys know that I do stand up, and hopefully you guys like it. And also too, like, you guys, I hear all the time, like, oh, I love stand up. And I was like, oh, who are some of your local comics? And like, they're like, well, there's this club in town. Well, guess what? There's a lot. I guarantee wherever you're located geographically in the United States, it doesn't matter if it's Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, Huntsville, Alabama. There is some amazing comedy going on in your city that's not in a comedy club. It's probably in a bar. It's probably in a brewery somewhere, and it's put on by a very funny local comic who's got an amazing feature set just rolling around. And if you guys hunt them down and find them and go up to me like, hey, I want to come to your show, but you should book Man Scout Jake Manning, I guarantee they will. And I will be able to do comedy in the town you reside in. So for those of you who want to see me live, then this is the easy way to do it. But, for those of you that, wonder what my stand-up would look like, well, I'm going to share a few clips with you. But before I do, big disclaimer, we are on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live. We're on Instagram Live. I think there's a couple there. Not that I think. I know there's a couple cuss words. So if you guys have, little weeblos, little scouts in the room, this may be the time to go kind of put them to bed. Put them to bed for now, and let the adults play in here. There are a couple curse words. So if you just happen to have some young Man Scout Manning fans right here watching the program here tonight, and you're like, you know what? I like Jake because he never curses. Well, Jake Manning curses when he does stand up. Not very often, not much. I'm not Andrew Dice Clay here. But there are a couple of curse words in some of these bits. So, and the content may not be quite PC. And I'm also saying this too, because I don't want you guys to hit me with a copyright strike. Okay. Or terms, or they go against community standards. Don't ding me on that. Okay, guys. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and play a clip from the stand-up. And like I was saying before, there's amazing comedy happening everywhere in the United States. You guys probably don't even know this. This first clip that I'm going to play for you was actually in a barber shop. Oh yeah, just a barbershop. During the day, people were getting their hair cut at this place. And then at night, they converted it over to like this makeshift comedy club. And they put on an amazing show. It was Slicers in Pineville. Like, it was an amazing show. One of the better like comedy shows I've done here in the local area was at a barber shop. So local comedy is everywhere, guys. You just got to look for it. You got to hunt it down. You got to find it. I'll give you a list of guys to look up, guys and gals, that is, all over the country for you to look up. That's some amazing. I know some really amazing, funny folks out there that you really should check out. And I'll kind of give you a geographic location and who you can hit up, and so they can, hit me up so I can go do stand up close to you. But here's a little taste for right now of a bit that I'll tell you a little bit more about once it's done. Okay.
But no, I love a strong woman. Love a strong woman. Love a strong woman so much. That's why I dated a female bodybuilder. Mostly because I didn't know how this pandemic was going to turn out. Like, I didn't know. I got to get the strongest woman ever. Like, I'm surviving this thing one way or another. I'm getting out alive. Getting out alive. But I'll tell you what, it was great ignoring all of her dieting and fitness advice. She'd be in the kitchen, like, managing her macros and stuff like that. I'd be in the living room going, hey, babe, how many calories are in whiskey and Netflix? Like, but she did say I had nice triceps, though. She said I had really nice triceps. And I was like, thank you so much. I've been pushing people away emotionally for years. But I think a big problem with the relationship was that, I could never send a good nude. Yeah, because her whole job is to look good naked. And she got sixth in the Miss Olympia contest. She was the sixth best naked person in the world. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I got a decent body, but not to that level. What am I gonna do? Like, me sending a nude to her is like me sending a video to LeBron James of me playing NBA Jam. Mostly because every time I sent a dick pic, I was like, boom shakalaka.
There it is. There's actually a bit that I came up and wrote over the pandemic because, for a very short period of time, I dated a Miss Olympia contestant, someone who placed sixth actually, and she almost won the next year. So that was a very interesting relationship, and it's also very interesting that she's probably doing a live stream on Monday too, and she's far more famous than I am. And if she wanted to badmouth me, far more people would hear it. But also, I love how I said, like, hey, if you got Little Man Scout fans, go ahead and put them to bed. And then the viewership went up. Like, do I need to start cursing on these things more? Do I need to play Blue? Is that what you guys are looking for here on Facebook Live on this late night show? Just holler at your boy. We'll figure out. If you guys want more just raw Man Scout, well, you can get raw Man Scout. I don't know how many people are going to like it, but I saw how the views went up when I said put the kids to bed. Maybe because the kids went to bed and then they just logged onto their computer and they're watching it now. Regardless, but that's a bit that I wrote over the pandemic. It was, I'm quite proud of it. Like, I feel like I finally learned how to write a joke right as COVID hit, and then when things happen to me that I feel like I can joke about, then I feel like I can write bits and I got to work it out. Like that bit will probably be different the next time you see it because I keep working on it. But I'm pretty happy the way it's been progressing. It's one of the newer, chunks of material that I have, and I'm kind of proud of it right now. So, if nothing else, bad relationships or failed relationships, they're always good fuel for stand-up comedy. But another thing that's good for stand-up comedy is, your family. And this is a bit about my family, actually a particular family member that's also more famous than I am. But I won't spoil that because that'll be coming up in the next clip. But this next clip is actually about a year or two old, but I feel like this was the best that I performed this bit This was filmed at Vizart Video, just up the street from my house, just up the street from the Manning Cave. I used to produce shows in the back of a video rental store here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was probably one of the better stages in all the city, and I was so close to making it one of the hottest and coolest rooms in the city before everything just shut down. So hopefully I'll get back in there. But before I did, I filmed my comedy sets, and I did a multi-camera mix to make it look as good as possible. So I feel like the production on this particular clip is quite good. So I'm pretty happy about this, but I'm also happy about, the content of it. So hopefully you guys enjoy this as well.
But no, who my favorite shot putter is actually is close to me. It's my Uncle Al. My Uncle Al was actually a world record holder and represented this country in the Olympics in 1972 and 1976, where he placed 5th and 4th respectively. Now, everybody in this room knows at the Olympics they had to give away gold, silver, and bronze for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But what you may not know is that 4th, 5th, and 6th, they get these really nice certificates. But see, my uncle, he never picked up a certificate because he was so focused on medals. And he was like, if I don't get a medal, it's a failure. And I'm pretty sure when the representative from the Olympics came over to present this nice certificate to my uncle looked him dead in the face and said, "Fuck off." Which makes me think the guy who hands out the certificates at the Olympics has the worst job of all time. Can you imagine him coming home at night and his wife's like, "Honey, how was your day?" And he's like, "Well, the 4th fastest man in the world told me to eat shit and die. The 5th best long jumper in the world told me to suck my own dick. And the 6th best high jumper in the world said, thank you," because he's Canadian, he was very polite. Also, too, he was white and it's a jumping event. He was just happy to place. So that was a win for me.
And that's the one I was worried about. But don't worry, the viewership went up once again. Like I said, I think you like lewd man scout. Like I think that's what it is. I mean, that's probably why you guys like sexual Dusty Rhodes so much. But but yeah, that was the one I was a little worried about right there. My uncle loves it, by the way. My uncle, that's one of his favorite bits. Somebody found that stand-up clip and sent it to him because they knew he was a shot putter. And my uncle was like, "That's my nephew who's doing this bit about me." So it was somebody that organically circled it back around to my uncle. So that was a pretty interesting thing. It's one of my favorites. I mean, where else are you gonna, hear bits about shot putting? Only from the Man Scout Jake Manning. That's my comedy stylings. I'm not sharing any of my pro wrestling material because, like I said, hopefully you book me in your local area and I can do all of my pro wrestling material. I've got some really good pro wrestling bits and they only work in front of wrestling fans. And I think I got a lot of wrestling fans that are here in the comments. And I've done most of them in front of, crowds that Mick Foley drew. So they're ready. I'd love to get them out on the road and let you guys know of all the comedy that I got going on. But this last clip I'm going to play, I was going to only play 1 clip or 2 clips, but I'm going to go ahead and do the full 3. We're getting pretty close to the end, but this will be the last clip, and then we'll kind of say our goodbyes and interact. I'll tell you all, guys, thank you and everything like that. But this last clip, I don't know, this may be my closer in some sets. Like I said, I'm having a hard time figuring out what my set looks like. I mean, I got bits about female bodybuilders and shot putters and pro wrestling. I mean, how do you build that and how do you land that bird into a nice little bow? And but I think this next bit is like kind of a prime example of like the comedy I'd like to do. And I think this is the best I've ever performed this bit. And I've had it for a while and it always really, really seems to work. And it's one of my favorite bits. And I probably should hold it off for, not public consumption, but you guys got to know how good I am. And that's what this whole Man Scout Monday is about, is just letting you guys know of all the cool things that I do. Put it all in one place. I'm a wrestler. I'm a comedian. I'm a host. I'm a multitude of different things. And that's what Man Scout Monday is about, is to just, I guess, show me off a little bit, have a little confidence in myself, because I have to be confident. I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube right now. I have to be confident. I have to be fantastic. But hopefully in this clip, I'm at least funny.
If you ever meet a comedian in public, never be like, hey, tell me a joke. Never do that. We hate that. But also but even worse than that, and comedians will tell you this, the worst thing to do that you can go to a comedian is walk up to be like, let me tell you a joke. That's the worst. And with a face like this, it's always a racist street joke. You know, like, I have heard so many racist street jokes after a show, it is disturbing. And I hate racist street jokes. I hate them. I hate them. One, because they're super hacky. And two, because of the racism. In that order. I take my craft very seriously. And I hold it in a high regard. And, every racist street joke is also. They've all got, like, some sort of setup that gathers minorities together, working together on something, to give you some sort of hope of diversity. And then all of a sudden, there's this long pause where they're trying to eye you the punchline. And then an insensitive punchline. It's awful. And it's that long pause, between the punchline. It's almost like your second grade math teacher trying to eye you the answer in math class, like 2 + 2 equals 4 Mexicans that screwed a light bulb. And that's every racist shit I've ever. But see, us comedians, we have this special gift. We have this special gift for being damaged individuals all our life. Where in every bad situation, every opportunity where things are uncomfortable, we can turn it around with a joke. And that's our superpower. And if you give us that long pause in between the setup and the punchline, we can change this whole situation around. I had a very similar situation happen to me one time after a show. Some guy was like, hey buddy, I got a joke for you. What do you get when you mix a black person with a Jew? I was like, I don't know, Def Jam Records, Lenny Kravitz, everything forever. I don't know what's your punchline, but it ain't better than that, buddy. My name is Jake Manning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we got out before NWA sued us for copyright for using their music on Man Scout Monday. But yeah, that's a bit I've been using. People seem to like it, so to put it on here because so basically I was your comedian of the night. My version of the Tonight Show. I was the host. I was also the comedian as well here on this program. I'm getting a lot better at comedy, like every day. Every time I work on it, I feel like I get better and better and better and better every time. So the opportunity to get out there and perform in front of crowds, I'd really like to do that. My whole dream was, I was to do wrestling and comedy all at the same time. When people ask me like, what do I want to do? Well, there was a 10-month swing that I did like 2 or 3 years ago. And basically it was like one day I did stand up, the next day I wrestled, and then I did stand up 2 days in a row. And then I did a wrestling show, and then a stand-up show, and then made my way back home. It was like a whole 10-day loop. I had like 3 or 4 wrestling shows in there and like 6 stand-up shows. And it took me from Memphis to Dayton to Louisville, Chicago, Des Moines to Nashville, and then back home. And it was great. Like, I love that. I wish I could just be out on the road, meeting fans, doing shows every night for all types of people. And just like meeting all different types of people. And it was just a blast. And that's what I'd like my life to be like. So when COVID hit and live shows were not a thing anymore, it hurt because I thought I was never going to get to live my dream. And here we are now. People are getting vaccinated, unless you're Cole Beasley, apparently. And we're getting close. We're getting close to getting back to this. And we're very close to maybe I could go live my dream again and what I want to do and travel this country and make people laugh with my comedy, make people laugh with my wrestling, make people feel something and meet just wonderful and amazing people out there. And that's what I want to do. So, if you guys live anywhere, like I'm sure you're like, well, there's not any comedy in Columbus, Ohio. Yes, there is. There's an amazing scene put together by a good friend of mine who's a big wrestling fan, because that's the other thing too. A lot of these independent comics, these comics that are out there running shows, they're huge wrestling fans. A lot of them, like Joe Pettis, the guy who's the mayor of Atlanta comedy. Any awesome and amazing show in Atlanta, like stand-up comedy wise, Joe Pettis is running it. And Ian Abar is another amazing Atlanta comic that produces shows. Dwayne Duke, good friend of mine out of Ohio, look him up. Mimi Benfield, based out of NYC, always been a good fan of me. And actually, she loved Razor Ramon. I got her a signed Razor Ramon picture. She's a big fan of Razor Ramon. She runs amazing comedy shows in NYC. Also, too, Dave Lasso. I think he worked at Pro Wrestling Tees. He's got actually a comedy album out. So look up David Lasso comedy album right now. I think it's in the top 5 of all comedy albums. He used to work at Pro Wrestling Tees. He's an amazing comedian. David Liu, I believe, over there in the West Coast. Sean Finnerty, he's touring right now. He's been on the Tonight Show. Big fan, big, lover of professional wrestling. And there's the Tommy Morgan, as I've said before, Felix and Oscars in Des Moines, Iowa. Like I said, you're probably sitting in Des Moines, Iowa going, there's probably no comedy. And you might be saying the same thing if you live in Huntsville, Alabama. You'd be wrong, because Scott Eason runs one of the best comedy shows in all of the country. I know comedians that will just reach out to Scott Eason, get a booking at his show in Huntsville, Alabama, and they will base their whole tour around that particular booking. So wherever you are, look out. Just type in whatever city it is, Cincinnati, stand-up comedy, and I guarantee you're going to get a whole listing of amazing comedy shows. Chris Seamer out of Cincinnati, it just popped in my head. He is a fan of professional wrestling too, and that's the other thing too. Like, this is part of this whole community. Like, go out, find some live comedy, because chances are, the person who's running the show is a pro wrestling fan. These points do meet, guys. I promise you. So hopefully the show can kind of bridge that gap, and hopefully I can be the guy that hopefully makes that connects. Maybe you make that a part of your regular Tuesday night. Like, hey, let's go see the show at a brewery, or let's go to this open mic in a pizza place every Wednesday. Let's go do that. Let's make that a part of what you and I do, or what I do, or whatever you do. So go out and do that, guys. Go look it out. I probably left out a whole bunch of other comics. I had a whole list of comics that I was gonna read out there, but I could spend all day reading it off of just the amazing comics that love professional wrestling, and they're fans of it, and you guys could be friends with them as well, and you could see some amazing comics, because I have a lot of really funny friends. But just whatever city you're in, type in stand-up comedy, see what pops up. And I guarantee you'll probably meet one of my friends. It's the truth. It's facts. But the fact is, I have run long once again, guys. How did I do this? I keep saying that this show is going to be half an hour long. I thought this was going to be a nice, tight half an hour, but here I've just been yammering on the whole time. But I miss you guys. I miss being on a live stream on a weekly basis, interacting with all you guys. And it's good to see Sterling Hill. It was great to see Chris Hero pop up on the IG feed right there. Austin Madrid, I miss saying your name. Anthony Esposito, Balral Chahal checking in on the Man Scout. Big Babaloo, always fantastic to be talking to you. Todd Fulkerson, Todd the Bod, saying I should check out the Ice House. Well, I'm not Joe Rogan. I'm the pedophile version of Joe Rogan, but I'm not, the pedophile looking version of Joe Rogan. Let me edit that before you isolate that audio clip. But Brian McAlby, so thank you so much, Brian, for checking in with us. Dennis Owens also too. I'm sorry I woke up your 6-year-old making the joke about Cole Beasley, but we all know that he's busy fighting percentages for all of us. But guys, I just want to make sure Normal Dennis, my good friend Normal Dennis, actually runs a show, Release the Kraken. If you guys have seen my I'm forgetting the name. of the character. Regardless, you're gonna see some footage of a character eventually on here that I did on a normal Dennis show, Release the Kraken. But I just want to say hey to everybody before I log off. I tell you thank you. Madman Pondo checking in here at the end of the program. It's good to see you, Pondo. He's probably got girl fight shows coming up very soon. Pondo, hope you're feeling a lot better. I know you got banged up not too long ago. Sending my well wishes out to you and all the rest of you guys. Thank you so much. David Freeman for checking in tonight. Dana Rayleigh railing against the man, saying that, if you're going to go 45 minutes, you might as well be on regular broadcast TV and, do just a full hour with commercials. Well, I'd love to do commercials, but I don't have any sponsorships right now. I just have you guys, and I need you guys' support. And you guys have given me a fantastic amount of support by hitting that share button, hitting the like and the love button every single week. And we're going to be back here again next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I got to say, Freight Train's going to be on it. That's the only teaser I can give you is the Freight Train will be on the next program and a multitude of other things. I'm sure something else will come up. Hopefully I get to film some more stuff this week, but I have a busy week working at the Carolina Panthers team store. That's right. I have a part-time job in retail as a 40-year-old man folding t-shirts. Everything is going great, but if you're in town for the gathering this weekend here in Charlotte, North Carolina, I am working at the team store possibly all day on Thursday. That may change, but I will definitely be there on Wednesday. I might not be there on Thursday so much anymore because we're getting ready for training camp. But if you live around the Spartanburg area, I will be pretty much working the training camp for the Carolina Panthers the entire time. Stop by the tent, say hey, buy some stuff. I work on commissions. Regardless, I don't work by the hour on this program, and I'm going to get out while the getting is good. Thank you to each and every one of you guys for tuning in to this edition of Man Scout Monday, and I'll see you again next week with an all-new program, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in.